I'm going to show you in this video how I installed my Fort Knox PB4 pistol safe in my apartment. I think that these same methods would be useful for any other small safe as well. Now, when you live in an apartment, there are two considerations. The first is you're not supposed to be drilling big holes in the wall and the floor to mount your safe. That leaves your furniture. Mounting your safe to your furniture to immobilize it. The second consideration is that if, like me, you move a lot, well, that's why you're living in an apartment, right? It'd be very nice if it were easy to disassemble the installation and reassemble it at your next apartment. Okay, so let's have a look at how I installed my pistol safe in this piece of furniture right here. I chose to install my safe in this two-piece storage cabinet. It's quite heavy, so when you move it, you really have to separate it and move the left and right sections separately. Another advantage of it being two-piece is that here you see how there is there's double wall in the middle. This is a full 1.5 inches of, well, it's fiberboard, but still it's bigger and it's thicker, and it's in the center of the piece of furniture where it's much more difficult to attack. If I had put it on the end, for instance, then it would only be single thickness, and it would be easier to attack because it's right out here in the open. Okay. Now let's open it up and have a look at the safe. Okay. Notice how the safe is concealed. We can't tell that there's a safe here. The safe is concealed inside, and so that the door of the safe will clear the door of the cabinet, I put these spacers in here. You know, of course, the thickness of these spacers that you need will vary depending on the geometry of your cabinet. I happen to choose 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood to get the clearance that I required for my cabinet. I use plywood because it doesn't split. It's much more difficult to tear that plywood apart than it would be for instance, just a regular board which could be split and compromised. Okay, now I still have the factory combination here, so I can just open it for you. I'm going to change this later, so there's no security risk in showing you the combination. And here's the inside of the safe showing the 5/16 inch mounting bolts. Those holes in the side of the safe, those 4 holes in the side of the safe, are pre-drilled by Fort Knox, so this is all ready to go. There's no modification to the safe required. Now notice how I have it set up so that it does not hit the bottom here. Okay. And how it clears the top. You want to make sure to measure very carefully and make sure that everything will clear before you start drilling holes in your furniture. Okay, let's have a look at the other side. Here's the other side. The safe is on the other side of this wall. And over here, I used these carriage bolts that don't have any way to turn them. There's no screwdriver slot or anything like that. And then also, instead of washers, I use these Simpson strong ties so that a larger area is armored. A larger area around the bolt is armored. And also so that without removing this screw, you can't turn that screw. You can't turn this thing around. It's more secure, I thought, than using a washer. Now, another thing I noticed as I was doing this installation is that I could put yet another safe on this side. So if I need more room inside my safe, I could just get another safe. And it could have a different combination, all kinds of interesting things you could do there. One thing that would happen over here is that the door will open up, right? Because the safe will be rotated 180 degrees, so the door will open up. And so that you have the clearance, the same clearance that you needed on the other side, make sure to make yet another spacer so that you have enough spacers. You know, while you're making spacers, just make an extra one in case later you want to install a second safe on this side. Then you'll have all the parts. You just get longer bolts and away you go. Another thing about this 2 safe installation is that the bolt heads will be covered by a safe on both this side and the other side. It's kind of an attractive idea. Now, there's one thing I wanted to mention to you about this, is that you want to make sure, even though you don't have a safe here now, you want to be able to make sure that the door will open up and it will clear whatever you have on top here. Right? So make sure to measure very carefully. Put the safe on the other side, make sure that the door clears on the bottom side, and then bring the safe over here and measure how high you want to mount your safe such that the door on this side will open toward the top fully. Right? So even if you don't have two safes right now, it would be kind of nice to measure carefully and make sure that in the future you can install a safe and then just make one more of these while you're at it so that you'll have all the parts when the time comes. Okay, now there's just one more thing about your apartment safe that I wanted to mention to you. You have tools that can be used to compromise your safe. Put them somewhere else or disable them somehow, like take the bits away and put them in a separate place. I'm going to move my drill, my big hammer, my pry bar, my cold chisel, my angle grinder most of all. I'm going to move these tools that could be used against my safe off-site. I'm not going to keep them around here so that they're not available to a burglar to attack my safe. So that's how I installed my Fort Knox PB4 safe in my furniture in my apartment, and also how you can install two of these safes if you need more storage capacity. Thank you for watching.